Bitcoin live. You're live.
Okay.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, we are looking at a new amendment from Senator Beck.
I just put it on the page.
Oh, this one.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, so this is to H 493. Yeah, go ahead and tell us about this.
Yeah, so what this pretty was, I don't know, doing, what this would do is it would, the secretary, direct the secretary of natural resources to update the low emission, zero emission vehicle rules, to delay implementation and enforcement of the California EV mandate until 2020. And should not take any enforcement until 20. So that's all it does. That's what it does. It's a big, but it just moves the date of enforcement rule out to 2028.
Okay, questions on this?
So it covers both cars and trucks?
I believe so. Yeah, it's not specific to either one. Yeah.
Yep, cars and trucks. So do you have a sense of how this impacts the credits that dealerships can bank?
Well, no, it doesn't change any of that at all. There's not enforcement or compliance.
And this might be a question for Ellen, but just interested in the phrasing of this. Shall update these rules. I want to make sure that, because again, we can't, it's either California or it's not California.
Right.
So whatever is being amended here, I want to make sure that is not changing. It's not doing something that we're basically not allowed to do. But that makes sense. But here's Ellen. Huzzah. I'm early. And okay. Any questions?
Well, I guess maybe that question for Ellen.
Sure, yeah. So you just got here. Welcome. So this
It's just being put on. Trust me.
yeah.
Wait.
Up to Kathy, I was a legislative. So we are looking at Senator Beck's amendment about the low and zero emission vehicle rule. So just to, I think we have the answer to this, but just to verify, so this would delay the enforcement for both cars, the clean cars and trucks, all of it, all classes. Okay, and this would, is this, because it says shall update these rules. And so I want to check in about, how we can either do California or we can do not California or federal, right? It's California or federal. And so if it's updating these rules, does that violate is that a flavor of creativity that we're not allowed to do?
I put in there that it has to comply with the California. Yes, this is exactly the thing I was worried about drafting because this is very complicated. But I think what I drafted gets as close to as legal as possible. So yes, there is the California standard that we have adopted via rule in Vermont. And if you're not using California standard, you have to use federal standard. To use the California standard, you have to be that your regulation has to be identical to California's regulation. And so the conversation about delaying enforcement is tricky because while I do think it's possible to comply with California and have a delayed enforcement by the agency using their inherent enforcement discretion, that wouldn't require any kind of legislative act. If you're looking for a legislative act that would direct a delay of the California system, the only way that I know how to do that is by a very careful rewriting of the rule, where we essentially are identical to the California rule later in time. So the California rule has a series of requirements per year. And so I think what they could do is perhaps leave off the first year and be identical to the later years.
So you're saying federal until then? No.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not with follow California, California,
So that's already technically happening in part. Right, because our clean car has already slightly started, but clean trucks doesn't start next year. So we are currently using the federal system for trucks.
But we're using the California system currently for cars.
Yes.
right?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And can you just do a really brief review of how it ramps up? Or
No.
what is- Okay,
Because this is,
remember,
sorry, so like this could be a very long conversation and it is complicated.
yeah, we had a whole day where we did
Yes.
testimony on this. Were you there, Senator Beck, during our hearing?
Sure.
It was in January, it was all the way at the beginning. So. I think we could have a longer discussion, but like. All of the rules are in one. All of the rules for both cars and trucks are in one rule, and so. For me to have attempted to draft it, it would have. And it's many, many pages, obviously, so this was a directive for them to make this sort of surgical change. And attempt to be, and the directive that they need to be compliant with California's later in time.
Yes, we.
So. What is there, a penalty for not enforcing California in 26 and 27 for cars and 26 for trucks?
Penalty, like if,
Yeah.
like
What
against the state. Like,
Yeah, can we get like California fine us, or do they kick us out, or do they?
No. No, so because so we are using the program that California adopted, but we have adopted in our state, so. The agency that oversees the program in Vermont has full enforcement discretion already. And so I do think if they wanted to be judicious or have a light touch that is fully within their discretion, we wouldn't need to make any changes already, there's no penalty for them to enforce it, no one is requiring them to enforce it, they are the agency with the authority and ability to determine how and when they enforce it.
Okay,
About the long-term implementation of this program. So clean trucks wouldn't start till 27 anyway, but clean cars is going.